Warning, I am not a psychologist. This is a video compiled from books, classes, experience, and therapy. If anyone with a psychology background can see anything I'm saying that may cause harm to a person, please alert me. Thank you. So much for 4 videos. I'm now on to my 4th and haven't even gotten to dogs yet. Sometimes the problem you or your animal is having is not really complicated. You or they are just out of energy. Many times being aware of your own environment, hunger, or sleep patterns can fix your problem. It's a puzzle, but like with a cat, you have to pay close attention to all factors involved to decipher the puzzle of why your inner beast is reacting the way it is. If a cat is overstimulated, it can lash out and bite. When taken out of that environment, the cat can be calm and loving. Many times with anger and lashing out, a person can be just overstimulated and perhaps should get out of that environment. If they can't, like it's a job, perhaps they should slow down or alter their other activities to give themselves time and space to be calm so they can deal with the stimulation of the environment they must function in. After that, they can slowly condition themselves to take on more stimulation without letting their beast freak out and attack others. When a cat is misbehaving, many times restricting them is the best thing. Too much freedom can be a bad thing until they're conditioned enough to deal with it. This is why we don't let children drive or let them work with nuclear material. They're still developing and they need to build up enough constructs before they're ready for the new freedom that comes with adulthood. Restricting yourself is very important when it comes to finance and diet and having a budget. Spending money and eating carbs gives you an addictive low-level dopamine rush similar to cocaine and being infatuated, and it's different levels of dosages for all people. This is why it's important to create a restrictive diet and budget, but also give yourself small treats for staying in these boundaries. In diet, make sure to set aside a small amount of fun calories, and make sure to budget yourself some fun spending money. Otherwise, the boundaries of the diet and budget will have no positive reinforcement. It feels like a stifling, weak-walled, arbitrary cage, and your beast will stop at nothing to break out of it. Your environment is also very important in this case, perhaps changing your house around so it feels different. Old memories with overeating and overspending are harder to access. When I believed in feng shui, I have a feeling this is what I was actually doing when I engaged in complex but evidenceless tasks. Avoid going to places you're conditioned to overeat and spend at until you can trust yourself there. About a year or so ago, Prof MTH commented in a video asking me to discuss how I overcame clutter, and the subject was so complex I didn't really know where to start. I grew up with the ideals of removing clutter as a good thing. I enjoyed reading Don Aslett's book, Clutter's Last Stand, as a child because it had funny pictures in it, and that put more positive connotations in my mind. Anytime I logically didn't need something, and it was taking up too much space and needed too much maintenance to be worth my keeping, I would flood my brain with this logic and imagine what it would be like not to have to worry about it anymore and how much more space I would have. If the item was still usable, I would also have the positive reward of helping someone else when I gave the item away. My attachment to items are much less and more based on logic. I have everything I need and enjoy what I have even more because I'm not overstimulated and overwhelmed by upkeep. People who lived in poverty, like the Depressionites, have huge difficulties getting rid of things. All loss is bad and hoarding is good, so even after becoming financially stable and having money for lots of material possessions, they just can't get rid of anything because getting rid of equals bad. Zonstar made the argument that creationists are hoarders of bad ideas, who will keep using them even after being fully decimated. Maybe it's because they were so impoverished of knowledge at some point that losing a bit of bad, rotting knowledge is just unbearable for them. There are many things our inner beast need that just going without won't do. The beast will react in unpleasant ways, continuing to do them, but cause even more destruction in their process. Sex is something the brain needs and desires. It is a real danger when creating a power structure like the Catholic Church based on celibacy and denying sexual desire. Some, depending on their natural psychological and genetic disposition, can overcome it, but studies show that 50% of all priests have had an affair at one point in their life in the cloth. Even worse is if they find someone with little power who is trusting and afraid of telling, like a child given into their care, and their ignored desires and needs twist into something horrible. Cats need to claw. It's a full-body workout for them. It allows them to mark their territory with scent glands in their paws, and they have different textures they prefer, each one liking a different texture and softness, just like we all have different perceptions, which is why not all scratching posts are useful for a cat. If a cat likes to claw a couch or carpet, Dr. Sampson in the book below recommends getting a 4x4 on a base, wrapping it in carpet with the bottom side out, then wrapping it with a similar material that they like clawing at, and sprinkling it with catnip to produce conditioning that will let the cat redirect its needs in a safer way. If one has a destructive habit, such as overeating, overspending, or anger, these are needs that need addressed and redirected, albeit with a range of enjoyment reduced to a safe limitation, and the outside area negatively reinforced. One last thing is the question, how do you get a cat to go to the toilet? This involves patience, puzzle working, overcoming fear and discomfort, environmental change, and positive reinforcement. They are already conditioned and restricted to go only in their cat box. Toilet training could take months, and training yourself to be patient and pay attention, not to move too fast and be ready to take steps back if needed, as the change too fast may condition the cat negatively. You also have to train yourself to keep the seat down and the lid up at all times, and keeping the bathroom door open, or it's the floor that the cat goes without a litter box. The first stage is to set the box by the toilet, which can be unpleasant for you while you go if you don't clean out their box constantly. Resting is a term that means giving the cat a few days or weeks to get used to this and feel like it's normal. 3 days in humans is on average how long it takes for the new to become the normal, but all people and cats vary. When the cat is used to this, you can now slowly stack non-slick steady things like phone books under the box, so the cat can gradually get used to going at higher levels. Move too fast and the cat will be weirded out and not go in the box anymore. Make sure it's secure and make sure they feel safe. Then rest. Continue until the box is level with the toilet seat. Rest. Then move the box on top of the toilet. Rest. Measure the inside of the toilet seat and get a metal bowl that fits the inside of the toilet. Now take the cat box away completely and put litter in the bowl. From here on out, you get the picture. There's a full list of instructions in the bottom bar with more details if you want to try it. But as this points out, training your inner beast takes a lot of time, sacrifice, and patience. Getting angry with yourself doesn't help at all and just makes it worse. Changing overnight is impossible, but giving yourself praise for little accomplishments and changes helps a lot. We have now finished with cats. This is a base level of training. From here we can build on it and learn distinctly dog and human training, now that we know the basics. I have another book in the bottom bar that has a lot of great information, but it's very cat specific. One thing I've learned from this, and keep seeing a repeating pattern, is that it's rarely the fault of the animal or the child. It is usually the ignorance, negligence, or fault of the adult human. The spanking, guilt, and harsh discipline system can work on a certain percentage of kids, though it's not the most efficient or effective method. And there will also be kids who fall through the cracks of these systems. There are some horse training methods that acknowledge up front that a few horses may be permanently ruined by their system of training. This is unacceptable. It was okay back before we had science and psychology, but it's time to move beyond that antiquated sacrificial thinking. Sadly, the old-fashioned child and self-harsh training doesn't come with this disclaimer, as they just say it's you or your child's fault for the stubbornness or free will. Sadly, if you had one of these adult parents as a child and you became an adult, you now have to fix yourself because no one's going to do it for you, and your inner beast and child is who you have to learn to train. The misbehavior is not your inner beast's fault. It's confused. However, if your neocortex is not working constantly to try and train your inner beast and figure out what the problem is and make steady progress, then it is your fault, and you will have to fully accept the consequences of your beast's actions as its owner. Here are some of the tools, and we'll be mentioning even more later in the series. Time to get started and enjoy a much healthier life with your inner monkey.